Radio man. Organization.
You are looking at the deck of the Polaris Supreme as they've just come out of an incredible night bite. They've got 43 bluefin tuna, 50 to 180 pounds. The Tribute is also fishing down that way, and they have got on board 7 fish in the 50 to 180 pound class. Eddie Bombs have been working really well, as have those 400-gram knife jigs. And let us not forget the recent catch of a yellowfin tuna. Does that portend more yellowfin in our future? Tremendous bite on the Polaris Supreme as our season is taking off early and just keeps chugging along. Dolphin right outside that breaking wave there. Munching on our yellowfin croaker, presumably. There they are right there. Right there in the surf. Michael Limone's getting a beautiful look at those creatures here as we get ready for our big surf fishing Saturday here in Surfside. Hope you're going to be able to join us for that one. Really cool look at these delphinus right here on the beach.
Oh, Phil Friedman. What's up, buddy? We're just hanging out. We're in a cove. We got steaks of grilling or burning. I'm not sure what. I think they might be burning. But they're all drunk, so it doesn't really matter. We got the boats, the jet ski. Just came in from diving. They got a bunch of grouper and lionfish and lobsters and big giant conch. So we're gonna have all this shit for dinner. All right, everybody, good night. Come on adventure with Sean Morgan. Come on down. Bahamas.
Solid 2.5 pounder, maybe 3. I don't know. Good one though on that PK5. War baits, red neck breaker, half ounce.
You've got to love Devin Osborne out there fishing the Long Beach Breakwall at night in some really windy and rough weather. Great job, Devin. Keep up the fine work. Hey, good morning, my dear friends, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California. It is a gorgeous Thursday morning, and we're here with, you can see Dan Lightfoot's back there. Michael Limon is here. The pressure's on these two knuckleheads because we've got a big surf fishing event on Saturday right here on the beach that you're invited to. So these guys have got to be showing that it's wide open fishing here for you to all come down. So once again, come on, Dan, catch something for God's sakes. So it looks like we can actually do something here. Actually, we've had great fishing here the last few times we've been here, and we're looking forward to a great Saturday with each and every one of you. Man, we've got an action-packed story. We're going to talk about that yellowfin tuna that was caught on the Tribute. What does it portend? Also, the Polaris Supreme is on the bluefin tuna. Had a good night bite last night, and it looks like big, great bluefin tuna. Really beautiful, big bluefin tuna as this BFT season is off to the races. In fact, our sources in Mexico on the other side of the border, Bongueros down there, and commercial guys have been telling us there's a lot of BFT starting to push closer to Ensenada. We've got a lot of wind in the forecast that you're going to want to know about if you're planning a trip this weekend. And of course, we've had some really good local halibut fishing, a night bite on the calico bass on the breakwall for some private boaters, and so much more. You know what time it is. It's time for the morning briefing. Good morning, my friends. Hey, it is great to be back with you all. Hit that like button if you don't mind. Share these videos with a friend. Hit the bell and you'll be notified when there is new content. And of course, subscribe to the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel. You can also follow us on TikTok for a little bit longer. It's about to go down the tubes, it seems like. Also Facebook and Instagram, and of course on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We're there every single day for you all. Hey, just to lay out the calendar of Friedman Adventures events coming up. Saturday, we have a surf fishing event down here. It's pretty much we all get together and surf fish together. That's what it is. It's a big party down here and a lot of fun, and I hope you show up to enjoy it. If you're a novice, Tim Marquez says, from A Best Income Tax, he's going to be here. He said, I've never done this before. And I said, Tim, this is the perfect situation for you because there's so many great people. Dan Lightfoot, but there's some really great people who are going to show up down here, and they're all eager to help you out. So it's a perfect environment. If you got kids, sometimes, you know, it devolves into throwing sand and jumping around on the beach, and that's perfect also. So it's going to be a lot of fun. That's Saturday. You need information, just send me a text. I'll send you that info. And then Sunday, I'll be at Bass Pro Shops in Rancho Cucamonga at 12 noon for a surf fishing seminar. Also, our charter list is available, and it's filling up so fast. If you'd like to fish with yours truly this year, I'll send you the charter list. Just send a text to 657-227-6459, and I will get you that list. Love to have you fish with us. The El Patron, we got a couple of trips to Catalina in May, and then May the 31st, we're on the Island Spirit out of Ventura Sportfishing. That's going to be a lot of fun. Get that list, jump on board. We'll see you on one of those great trips here very, very soon. All right, folks, let's talk some Mexico real quick. Cabo San Lucas, good bill fishing down there. Striped marlin, occasional sailfish. There's also an occasional good catch of yellowfin tuna if you find a pod of porpoise, because those YFT mix up with it. And then also we'll get an occasional wahoo and some pretty good hits on the Dorado also going on. Now let's talk 140 miles below the border, San Quintin. We really need to talk about that zone because it is a window into our future. It is a window where we can come up with some really excellent ideas of what may be headed this way. Good yo-yo iron, yellowtail fishing. Continuing in San Quintin, we see some nice grade yellows. They've had a few 12-pounders down there, but the majority of yellowtail, it seems like we've been seeing this year, are that 15 to 20-pound class, 18 to 25-pound class, whether it's been down there in San Quintin or up there at Punta Colonet, 120 miles below the border, where we've had some sport boat catches going on and pretty decent catches, along with the rockfish and the lingcod and everything else. Whether it's been at Santo Tomas, which is 85 miles below the border, and many of the pangueros from Ensenada have been headed down that way and doing quite well in that zone. And they're up there in Ensenada, around Todos Santos, up there at the Coronado Islands, where the Mission Bell will be fishing out of Point Loma Sport Fishing here shortly, or even up there in La Jolla. All that fish has been superior grade, and I've painted that picture because we see that flow moving up the Baja Peninsula, pushing into SoCal waters, and that is all really good stuff. So we'll continue to watch that for you very, very closely. Up there in Ensenada, as I just mentioned, there's been some yellowtail. There has also been that big bonito wandering around and good rock fishing. Many of those guys, however, are heading a little bit, good morning, Lupe, are heading down south in that Santo Tomas region, and it's been pretty darn good in that neck of the woods. All right, let's talk bluefin tuna. And again, there has been some good scores. Looks like we're off to the races here. Good night bite for the Polaris Supreme. Good grade of fish on the deck of the Supreme. Looks like beautiful fish. And we have 3 boats down there. The other day, it was only the Tribute. And that's a big ocean to try to locate fish with. At least we've got 3 guys down there today. The Pacific Dawn, the Polaris Supreme is on the fish already, and we also had the Tribute down there. So things will develop as the day goes on. I guarantee you that. And of course, we'll be monitoring it for you and putting up updates as we go along. Now, that yellowfin tuna that was caught on the Tribute and they saw other fish, is that an anomaly? Is that a flash in the pan? Does it portend more yellowfin to come? That is a question that is very difficult to answer. But I did look at water temperature charts, and what I saw was a lot of cold water manifesting itself, probably upwellings way down the Baja coast, not too far, but down there about 200 miles or so. So what might happen, or what does happen on occasion, is yellowfin tuna will move up. They're following that warm water. It's not that warm, but it's 64, relatively speaking. They hit that, and then normally they say, you know, this is too cool for us. Let's get out of here and go south. They go south because that's where normally you'll find the warmer water, and they bump into that cold water upwelling, and they say to themselves, at least I'm surmising, and my brain is about the size of a yellowfin tuna, this is way too cold. Let's go back to where we were. And they kind of get trapped sometimes. So they're in that little bit of warmer water, and sometimes they get trapped in that, and then they have to move once again back down, and maybe that's what's going on, just a little pocket of fish. Or it could be that it's the leading edge of more to come. Somebody mentioned, I forget who it was, that Frank Lopresti was saying there's been big areas of yellowfin headed up the coast. And if Frank said it, I'll take it to the bank, man. That guy's been in this business a long time and knows of what he speaks. So we'll watch that for you very, very closely. Back to the bluefin tuna. It's been mixed in terms of size. There's been that 40 to 60 pound beautiful bluefin tuna, nice grade of fish. And there's fish to get up there to 150 plus pounds, and that is a superior grade of bluefin tuna. So you're going to need some heavy tackle, 100 to 130 pound spectra. Sometimes it's been a 400-gram jig that has worked best. Other times 200 to 300-gram lures. You definitely want to have that with you because that has been super effective. When the captain says drop, you want to drop immediately, and it is so important that you drop to the depth that he is telling you to drop to. If you hear your captain say 400 feet, you want to get your jig down fast and to that depth. So how do you get it to the exact depth? You purchase that colored metered line that changes colors every 100 feet, and you know exactly where your jig is. He says 400 feet. You drop to 400, wind on your jig. Don't wind it all the way up to the surface. Those fish are in that 400 feet zone, foot zone. So you want to just work that zone and you will hook up. And there's some superior grade bluefin tuna biting again last night into this morning. There has been daylight fish. The better fishing's been at night. The bigger grade fish has been at night, but there's been daylight fish also. Most of that's been taken on a fly line bait, and there's been some sinker rig fish also. 30-pound fluoro, 40-pound fluorocarbon seems to be working best of all. And of course, all of this portends a great trip on the Independence. Our 5-day trip couldn't look any better. I mentioned Tim Marquez from A Best Income Tax. He just signed up for that trip. He said, Phil, he called me, he says, I can't take it anymore. I couldn't listen to one more promo for the 5-day trip on the Independence. I signed up. So Tim will be there. There's all kinds of characters. My son Philip will be there. Greg Bates, the elf, will be there. It's going to be a great one. IndependenceSportfishing.com. Grab one of those last spots. It's going to be a lot of fun. April 4th through the 9th. So really good signal on this bluefin tuna. I like what we are seeing. All right, let's talk weather right now. And we're going to get a blow, a significant blow, pretty much all up and down the coast, from the Channel Islands down to the border and below, you know, down to San Quintin is where I'm seeing this wind mostly, okay? I think you're gonna get your Saturday in, but by Saturday afternoon, evening, it's really gonna start to hoot. Sunday looks like it's gonna be very, very windy into Monday, like unfishably, dangerously windy, depending upon where you find yourself. So I just want you to know that if you're a private boater, forget it. And not much was going to get accomplished on sport boats, I don't think. Things can change, forecasts can change, so we'll stay untouched with it. We'll have more tomorrow morning on the morning briefing, but it looks like way too much wind for sure on Sunday and Monday, but we will indeed be watching it for you very, very closely. I mentioned there was some yellowtail taken at the Coronado Islands. 4 yellows on the Mission Belle about a week ago or so. The Belle is going to start running trips out of Point Loma Sport Fishing for the Coronado Islands with my dear friend Sean Hardigan and Scott Bouchard in the galley, making culinary masterpieces for everybody on board. So we'll get a look at the Coronado Islands. That looks to be developing right now. On the local situation, rockfish season opens up on April the 1st. So we're on hold for that, but we still have sculpin and whitefish. Boats from San Diego all the way up to the Channel Islands have been doing pretty good on that. And sheephead fishing's been good. The limit is 2. And many guys have been coming up with limits of those beautiful, great eating fish. So that is good news. Up there in the Channel Islands on the Island Spirit, they had a great Saturday trip last Saturday, and they will be out this Saturday also, so you can join them on the Island Spirit Ventura Sport Fishing. Remember, mention preseason 20 when you call the landing or when you book online. Use that code at checkout, and you'll save 20% off your trip. And they're doing that until April the 1st, and then it's over. And that means every single trip this year on the Island Spirit or the California, you can take 20% off right now. All you gotta do is get your calendar, plan your trips, use that code preseason 20, and you can knock 20% off your trips. Don't forget, on board the Island Spirit, kids fish free on Sunday, so they should have some great fishing up and down the coast. We continue to see same kind of a situation here. Monte Carlo with a bunch of whitefish out of 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro. Beautiful boat. I love the MC. A lot of fun to fish on and some really good fishing going on there. Halibut fishing here on the local scene is okay. Hasn't been wide open here recently. Seems to have backed off a little bit, but hopefully it's going to continue to head in the right direction. Native Sun, 7 nice halibut yesterday, and they released several other short fish. Remember, halibut have to be 22 inches in length to keep here in SoCal, and you're looking for 22 and a half to be safe, if you know what I mean. You know, if it's right on the borderline, toss it back. You don't need Department of Fish and Wildlife writing a hefty fine for you if you take a short fish, and plus, you know, it helps the resource. So, you know, look for a fish that's slightly bigger than that, and man, they are great eating and a lot of fun to catch. Up there in the Channel Islands, they've also had some halibut. You know, the Aloha Spirit has been fishing once in a while, but the Island Spirit, also out of Ventura, has had some pretty good fishing. And down in San Diego, we pick a few halibut from time to time. As Dan Lightfoot is really letting us down here this morning, and Michael Limon isn't even fishing. So how in the heck do these guys expect me to promote our big surf fishing event on Saturday? Well, let's just consider who's fishing out there, okay? If you know halfway what you're doing, you're going to be killing him. Dan's going to kill me later when he hears this. All right, so hopefully he'll come up with a fish before this is over. They did catch one before I got down here, a small bar perch, and he says there's some little nibbles going on. And once again, the tide is going to be perfect for our weekend event. I hope you'll be able to join us on that one. Don't forget, it's tax season. I've mentioned Tim Marquez a couple of times. He's going to be here Saturday. He's going to be on the Independence, and he's there for you when you have income tax needs. Give Tim a call today and get that income tax burden off your shoulders. If you need help with heating and air conditioning, John Lopez is your man. Give John a call. He's a fantastic guy, and he will take care of that for you. So please keep those guys in mind. Again, we're also watching this surf fishing bite very, very closely for you. There's been pretty good bite on the yellowfin croaker. Those yellowfin croaker, one of the best ways to take them is a small chrome jig, like a Castmaster or a crocodile, 3/4 ounce, perfect. Toss it out right past that wave you see breaking and come back in. When those waves break, when you see that wave break, the surf fish are staging back behind it. They're back behind that and they're waiting for that wave to break and get all the mussels and clams and sand crabs and whatever else is in there, and then they're in here now feeding right behind that wave. That's what they're doing. So it behooves you to make that cast and then come through there. You'll catch yellowfin croaker. You'll also catch a significant amount of halibut by doing that. I know a lot of guys are stuck on lucky crafts, and they do work well, but you can catch them on that small little chrome jig, and it's a little less expensive on the wallet also, so keep that in mind. Pride on an overnight trip out of 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro, California. Mackie and AJ, a couple great guys, were on board that trip. They ended up with 17 halibut, and the world famous Mackie will be here surf fishing with us on Saturday morning. Also, be looking forward to seeing him along with many of you. It is there's a little bit of rain in the forecast, it looks like, for Saturday, but it doesn't look like much at all. And what the heck, you know, if a few drops fall on our heads, it's not going to kill us. We'll be fine. So nice trip on the Pride, as they've been really rocking it. The Amigo, as I mentioned to you, was out recently on a trip where they had some pretty good fishing. Also, they were on a crew trip, and they were up there around a dozen halibut. Several other boats have been fishing back there and doing quite well. Catalina Island's been great. The Pursuit is running their daily trips over to Catalina Island out of 22nd Street Landing. And there is never a lack of effort on that boat, man. They fish hard and consistently come up with big scores. Pursuit, 22nd Street Landing in beautiful San Pedro, California. And with a tear in my eye, I declare that lobster season in SoCal has come to an end. But it came to an end with a bang, as several guys were out, whether it was kayakers or private boaters, or on the sport boat Triton, where our dear friend Mark Mangears. Mark, it's good to see you. He was out, limits of lobster for Mark, that is 7 bugs. He also had limits of sheephead, which is 2, great fishing. And Mark said the guys on the Triton work their butt off, really, really cater to each and every person on board. I know my friend Bob Gifford was on there. It's been a while since he was on there with my friend Nick Acosta. I can't remember if they were on the Gale Force or the Triton, but they said same thing. Just great crew, really wonderful to see those guys working. Now they have a jackpot for the lobster and the sheephead, or the fish. So you have a jackpot for the fish and the lobster. Mark won both of those. He said the crew was so great, he just said, hey boys, keep that. It's all yours. I just want to say thank you for the great job you did. So, man, I'll tell you, what a great season it was for Promar and Ahi with their great hoop nets and all the products that they supply for you. And I got to tell you, they've become a major sponsor of Friedman Adventures, and they've got a lot more great product headed your way this year that we'll be telling you all about. It should be fantastic. All right, looks like the boats are on that bluefin tuna before the blow. Classic vacuum bite situation. What's a vacuum bite? Well, when I was a kid, the old commercial fisherman used to tell me, there's going to be a vacuum bite with all this wind headed this way. These fish, they sense an oncoming storm and they feed voraciously right before that storm arrives. So maybe a vacuum bite. That was a pretty crappy imitation of old commercial fishermen. I guess I'm just an old fisherman now. Hey, don't forget, Saturday right here on the beach, we'll see you for that great Friedman Adventures event. Then Sunday out at Bass Pro Shops. That's going to be another fun event. And don't miss the Friedman Adventures charters this year. Whether it's the 5-day trip leaving April 4th or some 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. trips on board the El Patron, or a great trip up there in the Channel Islands. They will sell out fast on the Island Spirit. Make sure you send me a text today and I will send you the list. Have a great day. And what is with this guy back there? Michael Limon, get your butt out here. I don't even know why you are not fishing this morning. Well, why don't you look out to the camera and say good morning to everybody.
Good morning, everybody.
All right, good to see you, buddy. All right, Michael Limon will be here on Saturday. We'll have a great time. Can't wait to see you then. In the meantime, if I don't see you on Saturday, hey, by the way, it is my birthday. It's going to be a big birthday celebration on Saturday. Nah, not really, but hey, what the heck, another year on the calendar, and I can't think of a better way to spend it than with each and every one of you. And then Sunday at Bass Pro Shop. If I don't see you at one of those events, I hope to see you really, really soon. Take care, my friends, and I hope you have a great day. Hey, did you catch anything? This guy can't catch a damn thing. Can you help us out here?
He will, but
What'd you catch?
I caught one 15-inch halibut on the scrub.
Oh, nice.
And a couple of real small perch.
Yeah.
But sometimes you just gotta look for a spot where there's like less current. It's like
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
in-between spot.
Yes.
That's what I kind of look for. Find a spot where you keep trying different things.
Good job.
What are you filming?
I do a podcast here.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's called Friedman Adventures. My last name is Friedman, and it's called Friedman Adventures.
All right,
And so we
right.
cover the surf fishing and bluefin and everything else.
Okay.
What's your name?
Greg.
Great, good to meet you. I'm Philip. Don't worry.
Philip.
Nice to meet you.
Meet you.
My pleasure.
Yeah. you've been fishing
So we
fishing?
actually have an event down here on Saturday,
Oh yeah.
like at 8 in the morning, where we're going to have a bunch of surf fishermen. You're welcome to join us.
I'll tell my son because I probably got stuff to do. But
Yeah, tell him. Come
the
on
thing
down.
is, for us, we get a park way down there.
Yeah, I know. Well, you get your steps in.
I did. All right.
Greg, nice to meet you. Take care.